Hello. Oh, this screen is much brighter. Happy about that. Extra, extra, extra happy. Okay. I like to take this moment just to just sit and breathe. It's always important to calm yourself, calm your mind. And as I take my breaths, I am going to take this moment and practice on my singing bowl and allow everyone to breathe in. Hello, hi. This is the moment where we take a big deep breath. We consider what we're doing right now. We consider what thoughts we need to let go of in order to listen to something new for the day. Let's just take a deep breath. It really helps me to ease my mind and think into the now moment. And so today I have my hair wrapped, put it back, trying to keep myself, put together, being conscious, being happy, being in my peace. I'm super, I have so much happiness with vibing all through me right now. I just came back from my health coaching conference that is just full of empowerment and massive guidance. And, it's very intentional place to put yourself in. And that's why, the topic for today is connection and how important our connection is, and how important that we strive to keep our connection with others. And one thing that I want to talk about three things about connection, and how important it is. A lot of us don't know how to value the things that we want in our life. A lot of us don't know how to place an appropriate value on the things that we want in our life. And it makes it much more harder for you to find what you are looking for. We all desire to have a connection with ourselves, have a connection with others, have a connection with our work, and see how our connection can make everything that we're doing even more abundant, right? And this whole year for me has been about self-care, right? Self-care, self-care, self-care. It has been more valuable to pay attention to self than worrying about making others satisfied. And right now, I am being coached because I know how important it is to being coached. I know how vital it is to be coached. I know how much more quicker I can get what I want by being coached. Hello, blessings. Thank you for showing up over here talking about connections. Please, if you're listening and enjoying talking about elite conversations, please share my post. Let other people know that I'm live. I will be live for, I like to stay live for at least a half an hour to share with you guys my thoughts and my feelings. So I invite you to share my posts onto your wall. Allow me into multiple people's lives that you care about, because this is why I'm here. I'm here to help us show the connection. And if you can't create the connection, I'm here to help mend that. And so one of the things that I have been working on is connection. How can I gain connection? How can I be closer with the people I want to be connected with? And how can I make it more valuable at the end of the day, and help push me into the elements of life that I feel most comfortable in? Because it's important to feel comfortable in life, no? Yes? So how we feel comfortable with ourselves is how we create our connection. And if we're more intentful with who we are connected with, we're able to feel much more happier about ourselves. We're able to meet our desires much quicker, and we'll have the appropriate advice being given to us. So, one of the important things about connection is establishing that you want a connection, establishing who you want a connection with. Um, for me, my connection right now is so vital for me to be with like-minded individuals. And what I mean by like-minded individuals is individuals that think such as I do. And when you can be around people that can think such as you do, they can help build you up to become the better version of yourself while you're building yourself up to become the better version of yourself. Um, so for me, it's like finding very conscious minded people that are striving to live outside of the box, push themselves into an uncomfortable zone just so that they can become more comfortable with themselves. Only when you are pushed out of your own element will you see how much you stand your ground on who you are, who you want to be, and how you want to be connected to this world. You know? So the second thing to consider is how am I making these connections, right? What am I doing to be connected to people? Um, yeah, got to be comfortable in your own skin. Yes. And how you're going to be comfortable in your own skin is making sure that you're continuously rechecking yourself, reanalyzing yourself, because a lot of times we'll put ourselves in a position and say, this is what we want. Yeah, this is what we want. This is going to make us happy. And then we forget to analyze what we're doing down the road to 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the road. We don't readjust ourselves. We don't step back and assess what we've been doing, who we have been being. And a lot of times we end up taking on someone else's skin because we felt like they were what we needed. And we get confused by that. And then we start to lose the connection. So it's vital to reassess yourself. It's vital to put yourself into a strive mode, to create goals for yourself, to create accountability for yourself, to acquire a systematic process to be yourself. Because remember, depending on how much you've been listening to me, I speak about us being complex beings attempting to live a simplistic life. And this is not easy. It's not easy to understand that the point is to have a simple life. We don't need to make things more complex. We don't need to give ourselves more rules. We don't have to give ourselves any more separation. We just need to allow ourselves to be in connection, to be a part of ourselves, to be a part of others, and bridge that gap. And that's where my third point comes in, where I speak about how it's important to understand if you're keeping those connections and how well you're maintaining the connections with people in your life. you know um do you think about, am I being uh, am I being an active participant in the connections that I have? What do you value? How can you create a new experience with people that you've already connected with? How can you create additional connections? How can you create multiple connections, multiple pathways into existing in each other's worlds? Connection is so important. We do so many things to be connected, and we have to start learning to be more intentional about our day and how we're connecting with people throughout the day. And that goes along with technology. Like, how much are you connecting with technology and not connecting with yourself? Connection is a good and a bad. If you're not looking at it, if you're not paying attention, if you're not assessing, this is why I choose at least one day a week that I'll post on my social media sites, like, hey, I'm not posting today. I'm gonna put myself in a connective mode in the real world in another way. I don't want to feel like it's a pressure to stay connected with everyone on a 7-day basis in order for you to feel like I'm connected with you. So I definitely take that intentful step forward, and pre-think how I want to make sure that I'm in connection with you. And so if you see my posts, when I say I'm not posting today, that is how I respect our connection. I respect that you see my posts. I respect that you like my posts. And I respect that everyone needs to have a break. It's not meant to be always in your face. You don't always have to be in a constant connection, because a lot of times you lose connection with other things. So it's a balance. Like, balance is key to our life, to our existence, to who we are being. One must stay authentic to oneself. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Like, this is so vital. um and a lot of us don't know how to stay authentic to ourselves. We don't know if we are being authentic to ourselves, um, because we don't have people showing us our authenticity, and reflecting our authenticity. So if you have connections with a lot of people that you say, oh, that they're not they're not authentic, they're not being themselves, or you can see that someone switches up in different atmospheres and they're not staying in a flow, you have to question not them but yourself, because you're allowing it. you know we are we are not meant to ignore the things that we see in our world, because understand, they're our world, they're our connection. Our eyes are connecting with everything it sees, everything it views. um like when I went to go and look for another place to stay, because I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. Freaking amazing. And I needed to look for an Airbnb to stay in. I didn't just click whichever one. I picked the Airbnb that resonated with me, that I felt like I would be the most comfortable with, and saw how I connected to the place. And you see the blue in the background. I don't know how much the color looks for you, but this blue is amazing because it reminds me of the background that I have in my own home. And I feel the connection, and I'm like, this place is going to make me feel like I am connecting with myself. It feels authentic. And then I came to the place and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not just this room that looks like this. There is blue throughout the house. They have, even the refrigerator is decorated. And I'm like, oh, this place is full of authenticity. And it shows how much I am connecting with myself, and my world is reflecting it. and I'm requiring it. And I want you to know that it's not the easiest task to do. And I struggled a lot on my own creating a connection. I feel like it took me like 2 or 3 years to acquire the connection I needed to get to this spot, to get to the point to be able to be coached by someone. I was years ago, I didn't think I needed a coach. I was always a motivated person. I always know what I need to do. And, that's just your ego talking and telling you, like, oh, you're smart, you know everything, don't worry. Like, you've already done everything already and you're really successful with yourself. You don't need a coach. Whatever you need to do, you just can figure it out on your own, which is true. You can figure out anything you want on your own. But to be able to get the most value out of what you're trying to research or what you're trying to build for yourself, you want to be able to do it in a fixed amount of time, to where you can visually see your results of what you're changing in your life. So when I allowed myself to be coached uh, by my great coach, Malachi Coaching, I absolutely love her. She helps stretch myself even more. And I'm also, in my mastery classes for my own coaching business, and I have my success coach, and they're helping me stretch to consider my business. So there's many areas for you to be able to think about how you can stretch yourself. There's many areas that we can work on at the same time and be fully focused. And a lot of times it's not that easy to do it on your own. It's not. It'll ultimately take you twice as long to acquire some type of visual. And in the world that we live in today, no one wants to wait 6 to 9 months to really start seeing a change, right? So when you can put yourself in a position to where, wow, I can see change in 4 weeks. Like, I've seen change in my life of connection. Thank you. Thank you, Lorianne. I'm so happy that we met. We met this weekend at our health coach conference, and we all help each other stretch. We all allow each other to be authentic in ourselves. It's like a breath of fresh air. Like, really, I was breathing so deeply this weekend, my abs were hurting. So I was working my abs from just breathing deeply, speaking to people passionately, and living in my purpose. And these things wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have been more intentful in my connections and what I was missing in my life. I did so much on my own that I didn't require to be connected with people like me. And it made me sad. And it pushed me to a point of depression. And I don't want anybody to feel like that. I don't want anyone to box themselves in because they've created this wonderful life for themselves and they don't have anyone to enjoy it. And a lot of it is because we allowed someone else to tell us we didn't need it. And we didn't even go and research to see if we did need it. We didn't consider it because we let someone else's thoughts in and break our connection with ourselves. Right? So understanding that you need to have a connection with yourself before you can start having connections with others. You need to have connection with self before you can allow other selves to walk in and give you their perspective. Because we have to understand that everyone else is connecting in life in a different way. And we have to respect that. And the more that we're open to listening to others' perspectives, the more you'll hear your perspective. The more you'll sit there and say, wow, my perspective is like so much more broader, or I feel like my perspective is really closed. How can I perfect my perspective? And the only way that you can really perfect your perspective is being around like-minded people. So requiring a connection with like-minded people is going to catapult your life into the area that you most desire. And keeping the connection is going to keep you catapulting. So it's going to keep that circle going of I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. and I say this all the time, love yourself enough to push yourself to do things that you typically wouldn't do. And I'm talking about in the positive. No, don't go do something bad that you know that you should not be doing. But you can definitely consider it. Like if something's on the bad list, consider it and weigh the options. And if you do have like-minded people in your life, if you do have like-minded people in your life, express those thoughts and feelings to them. Trust me, if you are reflecting your personality and your emotions properly, the people around you are going to give you positive insight. And they're going to give you insight to be yourself and to trust your gut, trust your instincts, and apply the new way of being in a loving manner. When you're starting to change what type of connections you have in your life, you have to be appreciative of the connections you did create in your life. Be appreciative of the connections that you already have, what they've shown you, what they've taught you. How you're going to be is so reliant on that, because you need to show gratitude. You need to show appreciation. And the only way to show gratitude and appreciation for our connections is to slow down, right? Slow down your mind. Take the time to process who you are being, who you are connecting with, who you want to keep connecting with. It is so vital. This is why I have, this is my logo. This is why I have the two hands together, because we need to be together in order for us to fully connect with our true purpose. It's all about the community. It's all about creating your community. The more you connect with your community, the more you're going to feel like yourself. And when you're around the right community, trust me, they're going to push you to be yourself. These are I can be an example of it. 5 years ago, I did not have any of these kind of connections. I was just relying on the connections that I had growing up in high school. And when you leave high school, everybody goes their separate ways. Everybody learns to do something different. And not everyone necessarily grows their mind the way that you want to grow your mind. So you're over here keeping connections with people because of the longevity of the relationship, but you're not remaining connected, right? You're just keeping existence of a connection. But why are you keeping the connection? What is this connection giving you? When I try to speak to my friends, I always ask them, what is it that keeps you friends with these people? How do you push yourself to be connected to more people? And do you even see the value on why you're friends with certain individuals? And when I say value, I'm not just thinking about money value. That's not the only value in our lives. I want to make that really, really, I want to make sure that you really understand that in your head. Value does not always equate money. But the more you value things in life, the currency of money will flow along with it, because it's abundance, right? The more you allow abundance to come into your world, the more you're going to feel abundance from many other areas of your life. Because what you do in one area, you do in all, right? So you just have to start changing one area of your life, and then all of the other ones will start changing with you. So think of it like that. If you don't have an abundance of money, chances are you don't have an abundance of connections. Let that just sit there for a moment and just think about that. The way that you look at money is the same way you look at your friends, the value. What are they giving me? Who are they being when they're with me? Who am I being when they're with me? Is this not the same thing? It's all about the connection. What are you connecting with? Why do you need money? What is money good for? How are you establishing a rapport with money? Are you analyzing it? Connection can be for any element of our life. And the more intentional we start becoming in our connections, the greater our purpose is going to be fulfilled, the greater our desires are going to be fulfilled. And I know it's hard. A lot of us don't have desires. A lot of us don't know what it is to desire. And it's important for you to love yourself enough to ask these questions. Who am I being when I am establishing a connection? How am I how am I keeping these connections, and how much am I valuing these connections? And what connections do I need to let go of that don't give me value? What do I need to let go of? Like, what connections do I need to let go of that don't give me value so that I can make space for the things that I need value in my life? It's hard to assess these things the first time. But I promise you, after you start assessing yourself and being more involved with self, it's going to be easier, because the next time that you need to go and reassess, you just got to go with, what did I assess the first time? What did I like about that assessment that I did, and what can I add to it? What can I change to it? And then you're going to keep going, and it's going to keep going in a circular motion. And that's when you're going to see the value, right? But you have to be consistent with it. You have to make yourself accountable with it. And if you don't know how to make yourself accountable with it, I invite you to find someone that's going to help you be accountable for what you desire. And don't make yourself wait for it. Do not make yourself wait for the things that you require in your life, because this is the only life you're going to get in this beautiful body, right? And yes, your body is beautiful. Every inch of your body, from the hair down to the toes and the legs, everything, everything. Have a safe flight. Have a safe flight. It's just, it's just amazing to know that you can be involved with your connections more, and put it in a more of an intentful manner. I don't want to say control, because we can't control anything, and we need to stop thinking that we can control things. We're not here to control absolutely anything. All we're here to do is to allow ourselves to be in the experience. And once we start allowing ourselves to be in the experience, we'll start allowing ourselves to see the connections that we have. We'll start allowing ourselves to be a part of the connections we have. And we'll start allowing ourselves to analyze these connections that we have. And I want you to, don't judge yourself when you realize what connections you're having or not having. Just allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be happy now, in the present, because yesterday is yesterday, right? And when you analyze your connections today, I want you guys all to try to analyze your connections today, and let me know how that feels, and before I go, I just want to share with everybody that I am going to be starting on a new platform, on another platform, because I'm not going to leave this platform. I love going live with you guys. I love sharing my thoughts with everyone that takes the time to listen to my videos. I extremely appreciate everybody. Please remember that I do post videos on my Elite Motivation page on YouTube. So you just got to go and type in Elite Motivation 411. You'll find me there. You'll find more inspiration. I'm going to be working on posting some more videos today. Well, not today, I'm sorry, this week. I stayed back in Phoenix, Arizona for a couple of days, just so that I can really pay attention to the connections that I've connected with today. Hello. And I want to be able to, really empower myself to stay connected with with the people that I post with. So I want to make sure that I post at least one video on my YouTube channel. So please go and subscribe. Elite Motivation 411 on YouTube. Check out my posts that I already have there. Click the notification button so you can find out every time I post a new video, so that you can remain connected with me, because this is how I stay in connection with all of you. So I want you guys to make sure that you have all means possible of being connected with me, whether I'm being your coach or I'm being your motivational person for the day. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Elite Motivation 411. That's where you'll find me. And I just absolutely love you guys. And I want to be able to share my new platform with you. And I would love if you guys share some questions. Mwah. I love you, girl. You are amazing. I want to share with you guys more. So I would like for you guys to just send me an inbox, or you can email me, emotivation411@gmail.com. Any questions that you have in relations to relationships, and in relations to finance, and into relations to your health, nutrition, whatever it may be. Ask the question, or send me your email address. You can inbox me, send me your email address so I can send you the link of the other platform I'm going to be on. I'm going to have more information for you soon. But until then, I appreciate everybody that has watched. I'm going to make sure that this video stays live for the next 24 hours, so you can come back and watch it again, and you can share it. Definitely find me on Facebook, and the video will be there all the time, but definitely on my IG channel. It's only for 24 hours. So, peace, love, reflections. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. And remember, keep your connections intentional. Know who you're connecting with and what you're connecting with, and what is going to be the most valuable connection in your life. Mwah. Love you guys. Absolutely. So much.